Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Gouet. Welcome to the 2025 Investiture ceremony for the Order of Prince Edward Island. We are pleased to have the following distinguished guests with us today. Your honors, the Honorable Dr. Wasim Salomon, Lieutenant Governor of Prince Edward Island, Chancellor of the Order, and Her Honor, Marie Salomon Dunn. The Honorable Blois Thompson, Deputy Premier of Prince Edward Island, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Justice, Public Safety, and Attorney General, and this year's inductees and their special guests. My name is B.J. Willis. I'm the Chair of the Advisory Council for the Order of Prince Edward Island. I'm pleased to be your Master of Ceremonies today as we celebrate the achievements of three remarkable islanders, individuals who have enriched our writing culture, championed communities, and encouraged our deeper understanding of local issues. Along with the special guests celebrating with us are our current Advisory Council members, Jamie Aiken, Clerk of the Executive Council, Diane Bernier-Willette, Cameron McDonald, and Gloria Skierman. Also in attendance is Heather McLaren, who has served 2 terms on the Advisory Council. Heather, thank you for your work on the Council for the past 6 years. Your voice, your wisdom were appreciated, and you will be missed. Council members unable to join us this morning are the Honorable James Gormley, Chief Justice of Prince Edward Island, Dr. Wendy Rogers, President of the University of Prince Edward Island, and Myron Yates. I pass their congratulations on to this year's recipients. Right now, we would like to acknowledge that the land we gather on is the ancestral land of the Mi'kmaq, and we respect the Mi'kmaq as the indigenous people of Prince Edward Island. Epigwit is covered by the historic treaties of peace and friendship. We pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq who have occupied this land for 12,000 years, past, present, and future. If you are able, I invite you to please stand for an invocation and prayer for the Prince Edward Island Order of Merit. God, Great Spirit, Creator of the universe, we ask your blessing upon King Charles, our sovereign. We ask your blessing too upon the Chancellor and the members of the Order of Prince Edward Island. We acknowledge with gratitude their standards of excellence, the gifts of their time and talents, and their devotion to the common good. Grant to all of us the desire and the will to follow their example of generosity and service to others. We give thanks for the members of the Order who have departed this life and are now at rest. May we fulfill our responsibilities as grateful and loyal citizens who are mindful of the well-being of all your people. Amen. Please remain standing as Elder Thurley Levi of the Abigwit First Nation comes forward to share the Mi'kmaq poem prayer.
Thanks for the invite. Thanks for the land acknowledgement. My name is Thurley Levi. My spirit name is Grandmother Wolf, who carries medicine. My ceremony name is Sacred Helper. Nigizu is Bachtas and Pizu Memaro, Tija Amijuezu Memaro. Tanjonagus at Malkage, make up Omeno, Tija Amijuezu Memaro. Also, the Maniagis cook is old Niskam, Sugat Quavin, Ilba Dandel Lugodiagla, also the my leg, you can't put Tija, also Ilabal is old Niskam, Ilquen. Look, the Standel Lugodia, Ambas Negamo, Ilabalum Seruen. Creator, I ask that you come into this ceremony, bless each and every one of us, and our leaders too, and put love into our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Levi. Please have a seat. The symbol of the Order of Prince Edward Island is the Medal of Merit, designed in 1995 by Islander Russell Stewart. The order itself is the highest honor the province can bestow on a citizen. Nominations for the order are made by friends, family, colleagues, community members, and neighbors to recognize someone's exemplary efforts and accomplishments in enriching the social, economic, or cultural life of the island. The order is a wonderful example of our island community championing those who work to improve our lives and our province. I would now like to invite His Honor, Chancellor of the Order of Prince Edward Island, Lieutenant Governor of Prince Edward Island, the Honorable Dr. Wasim Salomon, to come forward and to present his remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Honorable Lois Thompson, Chair and members of the Advisory Council, recipients, your invited guests, and all who are joining us online to witness your special ceremony. Good morning, bonjour, koe. Welcome to Government House. It is a pleasure to have you here. We also acknowledge that we are gathered today on the traditional land of the Mi'kmaq people. We have three very deserving individuals here today, all receiving the highest honor in our province. Congratulations on your investiture into the Order of PEI. First, I'd like to extend my thanks to the Order of PEI Advisory Council and all who work to make this event possible. Because of your work, we have this great opportunity to pause and recognize those amongst us who have made a big impact on our province. Je tiens particulièrement à remercier nos récipiendaires qui sont tous trois enseignants et mentors et qui ont grandement bénéficié leur communauté. For the recipients today, it is interesting that all three of you have one thing in common: teaching. Whether that's Dr. Brinklo at UPEI, Ms. Lund through her conflict resolution and mediation courses, or Mr. Petri through his work in journalism and at Holland College. Beyond your remarkable impacts on the community, it is inspiring that you've consistently chosen to share your knowledge with others. You are empowering others to make a big impact, just like you have. Thank you for that. On behalf of His Majesty King Charles III, I thank you for your contributions to our island culture and society. I hope you continue to serve your communities for many, many years to come. Our province is better for it. Thank you. Merci. Wilaliok.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I get to invite the Deputy Premier of Prince Edward Island, the Honorable Lois Thompson, to come forward and present his remarks.
Well, good morning. Bonjour. Kwe. Your Honor, recipients, and friends and guests here today, it is truly an honor to be with you today as we gather to celebrate these remarkable individuals. I'd like to begin by thanking His Honor for hosting us here today. It's an exciting day for our recipients and our province. As we celebrate the recipients of the Order of Prince Edward Island today, we are reminded the values that make us, our island communities, so unique. As an island, we embrace connection. We share history, communities, and commitment to each other. As this award spotlights those values and connections, each recipient here today was nominated by their peers and citizens of our province. To have such an impact on bringing us together, being recognized for those of the highest honor in our province. That really spells out what it means to be an islander, to me. So to our recipients here today, on behalf of our entire province, I say thank you. Dr. Laurie Brinklo, your contributions to the field of academics and literature continue to keep our island on the map. You have inspired generations of islanders and will live on for years to come. We also recognize Kirsten Lund. As Minister responsible for justice and public safety on this island, I am no stranger to Kirsten's work. Your advocacy and access to justice, especially for women on PEI, has fostered an important change. You have blazed an important path, one that will pay dividends for the future. And last but certainly not least, Ian Petri. Whether you know him from the days on CBC or more recently his advocacy for agriculture and the environment, who I've personally had to come to my farm and interview me a few times before I was even involved in politics. Ian's leadership and wisdom is spread across every community here on PEI. As islanders, we understand the importance of preserving our heritage, and we are always looking towards the future. Today's ceremony is a celebration of the work these three recipients have done for our island, and the important work that we'll have for future generations. On behalf of all islanders, I extend my heartfelt congratulations. You are an inspiration to us all, and I hope you take the moment to reflect. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Deputy Premier. So, we will now invest this year's recipients of the Medal of Merit in the Order of Prince Edward Island. I would like to invite Dr. Richard Lem and Claire Nantes to the podium to introduce us to the first inductee, Dr. Laurie Brinklo.
Your Honor, Deputy Premier, distinguished guests. I moved to Prince Edward Island in 1983. I was working at Ragweed Press in Charlottetown, owned by publisher Libby Oughton. It seemed that every week, someone would drop by Ragweed Press to apply for a job and want to learn the publishing trade. I'd eavesdrop a bit on this, and I would hear more often than not somebody say I have 1 or 2 university degrees, or I was a journalist, and other relevant publishing experience. And I'd tune out because I knew that Libby was ultimately going to kindly say, I'd love to have more staff, but we're a small publishing company. Publishers don't make a lot of money, and we can't hire anybody. Then one day, a young person comes in who has just moved to PEI from the West Coast. And I kind of hear this person say, well, I have 2 years of university at the University of Victoria, and there's other experience which doesn't seem all that pertinent, or a lot of it, for, to work there. And I tune out again, and then I hear Libby say, when can you start, Laurie? And I look up and this Laurie Brinklo excitedly says, I can start tomorrow. So Laurie leaves, and I go over to Libby and I say, what's with this? And Libby says, I have a hunch about her. What a spectacular hunch.
So true. Libby was right on. Now, Dr. Laurie Brinklo is a deserving recipient of the Order of Prince Edward Island. When Laurie moved here, not only did she find her forever home, she helped many of us see this province through her appreciative eyes and with her enthusiasm. Laurie eventually established her own publishing company, Acorn Press. She was instrumental in reinvigorating PEI's writing culture and oversaw the creation of books in multiple genres, giving voice to many islanders. She's a valued editor and an accomplished author. The title of her most recent book of poetry is My Island's the House I Sleep in at Night. In 2010, she went off to the island of Tasmania to fulfill her dream of completing her PhD. And now, after 3 decades of involvement, she is the chair of the Institute of Island Studies and coordinator of the Masters of Arts in Island Studies at the University of Prince Edward Island. Her work with the Institute has taken her to academic conferences around the world, where she has raised the level of discourse about the importance of islands and promoted awareness and appreciation, especially for this island. In addition to her scholarly achievements and the impact she has had on students, Lori has volunteered with numerous community organizations. She has raised 2 accomplished daughters and has 4 lovely grandchildren. She creates music and a welcoming home with her husband, Michael Mooney, and she still finds time to bake the best cakes I've ever eaten. But in the words of my late mother, that Lori Brinklo can do anything. Thank you. Congratulations, Lori.
Thank you both. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome inductee Dr. Lori Brinklo forward as a worthy recipient of the Order of Prince Edward Island for 2025. Congratulations, Lori. I would now like to invite Lisa Murphy to the podium to introduce us to our next inductee, Kirsten Lund.
Thank you. Your Honor, Deputy Premier, and distinguished guest. This seems high, but... Okay. It is my privilege to introduce to you Kirsten Lund, my friend whose passion, dedication, and vision have helped shape this island into a more inclusive and compassionate place for all. As Kirsten's parents who are here today will no doubt attest, Kirsten is a force of nature. She simply can't help herself, helping others. And it's been remarkable for me to witness her in action. I've seen her tirelessly work on numerous initiatives in various sectors over many years. She turns challenges into opportunities and advocacy into action, always bringing people together and leading with humility, never seeking the spotlight. Her journey began in law, but it was her discovery of and study in conflict resolution and mediation that truly defined her path. Since then, she has built a practice that has helped countless islanders and beyond the island, I know, gain the skills to help them build healthy relationships and find peaceful solutions to conflict in both the private and public work spheres. Kirsten is also someone who steps in when she sees or hears of a need in the community. Whether it's a single mom working to, or struggling really to find care with her caregiving expenses, a senior needing mobility tools to build independence, or a young person trying to find a job, Kirsten shows up. With the support of her wide and loyal circle of friends, some of whom are here today, she has mobilized resources and raised thousands of dollars to help individuals and families through times of crisis. She has founded and led organizations that bravely confront inequity. As chair of the PEI Advisory Council on the Status of Women, she helped shape policies that strengthen equality and opportunity, especially in the areas of legal aid and justice reform. Through Justice Options for Women program, she was instrumental in creating the circle of safeties and support for those at risk of intimate partner violence. This is life-saving work, my friends, life-saving. Kirsten's impact is woven into the fabric of this island. Even if you don't know her personally, chances are you know someone whose life has been positively impacted by her efforts. Kirsten has given her time, her wisdom, and her heart to this province. Her commitment to justice, equality, and community is serious work, but she manages to work with levity, inspiring us all to join her and do what we can. She has lifted many of us up, and today we lift her up in return. On behalf of those you've helped, directly or indirectly, we thank you, Kirsten, and we congratulate you in this well-deserved recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome inductee Kirsten Lund Ford to be a worthy recipient of the Order of Prince Edward Island for 2025. Congratulations, Kirsten. I would now like to invite Paul McNeil to the podium to introduce inductee Ian Petri.
Your Honor, Deputy Premier, distinguished guests. Ian Petri never fit the stereotype of a television reporter. His boots were often caked in mud or at a minimum dirt, his hair and beard untamed, and if there was a jacket, it was likely to be a comfortable tweed over a fashionable suit. Ian Petri never fit the TV mold because he never wanted attention on himself. So he walked fields with farmers and wharfs with fishers. It was here that he found stories to educate our province about the everyday issues impacting our vital primary industries. For 29 years, he brought us news of potato disease, expansion of corporate farming, land use, wind energy, lobster fishing, international trade, and interwoven among it all, provincial politics. Montreal-born and trained as a teacher, Ian found journalism by accident, or more likely, journalism found Ian. When he arrived on PEI in 1980, he and his wife settled in Iona, where they still live, and he joined CBC Charlottetown. His interest in agriculture took him to communities across the province. It cannot be understated how critical it was for the public broadcaster, so vitally important to PEI then and today, to offer its reporters the now rare opportunity to specialize. Generalists often miss the nuance of an issue. In the 1980s and 1990s, our province experienced a level of growth that saw small mixed farms fade away. It came with a price: pesticides, fish kills, land ownership, urban sprawl, water access. These are all issues without simple answers. Ian Petri is respected by farmers because they trust him to tell a story fully and fairly, which often means asking difficult questions. Islanders respect Ian because he doesn't dumb down his reporting. He gave us a full accounting, squeezing it into interesting and informative 2-minute bites on Compass. If Ian was crouching in a field with a fistful of soil, you'd better be listening. For 6 years after leaving CBC, Ian taught at Holland College, and these future journalists could find no better role model. Today, our papers are so fortunate to share his expertise with our readers. His commitment continues. Ian Petri is a member of a small, select group of journalists whose work transcends the stories they have told. He has done it with tenacity, integrity, and an unfailing commitment to the vital importance local journalism plays in our democracy. He follows the truth wherever it leads, and PEI is better for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome inductee Ian Petri forward as a worthy recipient of the Order of Prince Edward Island for 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Order of Prince Edward Island Advisory Council, I would now like to present the 2025 recipients of the Medal of Merit. Lori, Kirsten, and Ian, could you please come forward? You all get to stand together. And we do express our heartfelt congratulations on your investment. Thank you so much. Following the ceremony, recipients will have an opportunity to take family photos in front of the grand staircase. Our audience here, and friends and family, we encourage you to join us for the Premier's reception here in the dining room. Thank you for attending this year's investiture ceremony. Special thanks to those assisting with today's ceremony: pianist Jacqueline Sorensen, Elder Thurley Levi, their honors and valuable staff, and the broadcast team. This does conclude the official ceremony. I'd like to ask, if you're able, everyone to stand for God Save the Queen. God Save the King, sorry. Something that's ingrained. And please remain standing for the departure of their honors and the Deputy Premier. Thank you. Merci. We lally lock. We're done.